Is the call really that bad? Apparently, even from launch, the reviews on Steam were mixed, and they continue to be mixed, which is very interesting because, for me personally, I kind of liked it. It was like a better Namalsk, not so punishing instantly. Let's take a look at this one. Spent almost $30 to freeze to death, starve to death, and get raped by zombies while freezing and starving, all while not finding a single gun, a single water bottle, something to drink, and only 2 items of food in my 90 minutes of playtime. I'm gonna be honest, this just sounds like DayZ. The only difference here is the temperature. That's the only fucking difference. If there was no coldness, then it would just be another Livonia. On the official DayZ subreddit, this guy says, "Is Sakhal worth it? I have the money for Frostline, but I don't want to spend the $35 on a shitty map. So can somebody who already owns it give me some feedback?" I definitely enjoy it, one poster says, because the survival aspect of the game is much more pronounced than on Chernaris and Livonia, where you basically can just rush to high tier loot zones and then you just kind of get bored. On Sakhal, the survival aspect is still there even when you're geared because food is scarce and the climate is cold. In fact, all the loot is pretty scarce from my experience. This guy made some bullet points to go along with his little essay here. Sakhal is probably the best map design-wise I've ever made in DayZ. I'm genuinely having so much fun because Sakhal solves every problem Chernaris and Livonia had. There's actual incentive to survive on the coast, instead of immediately getting 2 fruit off spawn and booking it to the airfield. Inventory management is much more strict, forcing you to be smarter. Lower drop rates for guns and supplies also helps. There's finally an incentive to chase endgame guns like the N4 and SVD, making them completely open to chase as long as you earn it by traversing hard-to-reach areas, rather than locking the guns behind rad zones that require a full NBC kit and gas masks, and not even being guaranteed a gun. Less incentive to base build because there are fewer base building supplies on the map. More incentive to talk to people unofficial because of how hard it is on the coast. The devs purposely placed high-tier points of interest away from spawn, through dense forests, so you need to be at the very least geared before going there. The dynamic nature of islands and boats adds a whole new level of gameplay. The call completely changes the way you think about food and encourages smart hunting, instead of just cutting up 10 wolves and having a week's worth of food. Yeah, that update with wolves and bears no longer being able to be eaten, that was a doozy. The cold system rethinks the way you traverse and forces you to learn how to build fires if you didn't already. One of the replies says, "I agree with everything except for the less incentive to base build. The call makes me want to base build again." I definitely agree with that. That map is, it's really interesting, it's new, it's fresh. Like, when did Livonia fucking release? At least, 4 or 5 years ago or some shit? At least 3, they don't fucking release new shit. They release an update, every 2 months, okay? And half the time, it's a fucking hotfix or a patch, And whenever you do get something on the update, it's like a handful of things, okay? It's almost Mojang, but on a lower level, We're getting shit monthly, every other month, right? But it could be a lot worse, is what I'm saying. But we're not getting much to begin with. We're getting maybe a gun, a few new items. What the fuck is there to look forward to in an update? It's not so often you get a new caliber. You don't. What is there to look forward to? I get it. Your team is small. You don't have much going on. You have 4 fucking people in total that work on DayZ because Bohemia says, "Oh, well, Arma is more important," or 5, our other handful of games is more important than DayZ, which makes sense. DayZ is a loss leader to Bohemia. So, again, but they did make a lot of money off of Sakhal, especially charging $35 for it, which is more than half of DayZ's full price. So, a lot of people bought Sakhal, and a lot of people enjoyed it. But, I don't know, according to the reviews, according to the DayZ subreddit, a fair amount of those people are not so happy with it. They may have bought it, but they might not be very happy with it. Why is that? If you ask me, I enjoyed Sakhal. I didn't play it much, but I enjoyed it. I've moved away from DayZ recently. I haven't really, I think I've just been playing it for too long, to be honest with you. I've been playing other games, right? I do get on it every once in a while, every now and then, if we find a new server, if we find something that clicks and we're like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna do this, we're gonna play this, you know, like a good ecosystem. Maybe there's traders, maybe there's not, you know, admins, they don't fucking meme on you instantly. I'm just saying. But I mean, it was an interesting map. There was a lot to explore. I mean, it's a new map. You know what I mean? After years of not having anything except for maybe a new gun, maybe a new knife, okay? A new food item, for fuck's sake. When's the last time we had a new car? It's been at least, I want to say close to a year, like, you know what I mean? We haven't had anything groundbreaking in a while. I know because of the dev team, because there's not much there going on to begin with. Okay, they just sort of set it and let it go. You know what I mean? They set it and run. They let it go. And of course, they've got this this DDoS thing that they're working on right now. You know, they're getting DDoSed for like past 2-3 weeks on official servers, so that doesn't really help. Of course, 90% of players, if you judge by the Steam achievements, have never unlocked half of the achievements, and that's because they all go to community servers anyway. So that should tell you something too. And I mean, even for Sakhal, there's a few community servers out there already. You know, right after launch, there were a few. So there's options. If you don't want to play official, if you don't want to play community, you can always switch from one to the other. Or if you get tired of one, you can switch from one to the other. You know. And with the community servers, it's not entirely vanilla. You know, they're gonna add on, they're gonna change the map. You know what I mean? So it's not gonna be completely vanilla, and that's good. If you want a Namalsk map that isn't Namalsk, because believe me, I understand. Okay, you only have one winter map, and it gets you know, it gets boring, it gets tough. The spawns, especially in Namalsk, were kind of fucky. But you know, you've got Sakhal now, so you got Namalsk, you got Sakhal. You could even call that one island on Deer Isle up in the top right. I mean, I don't think you can call Deer Isle a winter map, but I mean, there's that too, right? I guess I just have to say, for the people that have gotten bored of the original maps, they know what they're doing. You know, they've played the game. They know how to deal with it, with shit, how to craft shit, how to survive. Basically, I think they'll do okay on Sakhal, unless they just don't like it. But I mean, really, have they given it a try? Have they tried it? I'm sure they have, but has everybody? I know it might take a while for everybody to get the new DLC, especially if people are saying shit about it. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of par for the course in my experience. But Sakhal is now, I think, $25 on Steam, so, or maybe 21. So it's on sale right now, 20% off, which is pretty good. You want to pick up Sakhal for 20 bucks? I would do it. I'm pretty sure that's what I got Livonia for, was 20 bucks, 20 or 15 bucks. That's a pretty good price, man. That's not full price. Anyway, that's about all I've got for you this time.